see you in court like you're gonna do shit? What do you mean? You think I'm not gonna pursue this?
Well, I think he's just trying to use an example because it is.
I'm not doing this control shit from you retards. Like it's on a.
Well,
I don't know. It's on me. It's on me because I come in here.
I know what he's getting at. What Dan is getting at is he's trying to argue.
Are you on my side? Do you not know?
Wait,
Pisco. You've been shut up. Hey, I know you don't. Is this like the legendary debater? Do you just go no,
You're
no,
horrible.
and talk over?
So the art
Adin Ross stream.
He said that it's murky.
You know anything about what the you're talking about?
I
You don't know shit. These are like
You're the one who made
basic
the
questions about how you're gonna answer my question.
Shut the
Is there such going on in the conversation? The conversation is above your head. You're just not following. You're not following.
Destiny, get this guy to shut the up for 2 seconds.
Are you gonna cry?
Too much heat.
Cry?
Too much heat in the
Stop
Wait,
crying.
Pisco.
What if I do not sign any waivers?
Just because you show up on a show doesn't mean you have any of the copyright or ability to publicize it. You could go on a show and be the star of a show and not have the legal rights to upload it anywhere. Cooking Hasan Destiny. Who's cooking Hasan? What are these guys even fighting about? Is this a disagreement he's having with Hasan?
Speaking of dickheads online, this is internet anarchist who is addressed in a tweet that he got a false copy strike, which is really f***ed up, by the way, from Adin Ross, which I got as well, for the record. It was a false copy strike of a video that I'm in, which is f***ed up. It's insane. Here's Adin Ross celebrating the false strike.
W. Chat, by the way, this is Hasan's head moderator, chat. In the chat, we stole $8,000 from him. W. He needed that. Yes, yes.
I don't know who this person is. I've never met this person. This person is not my head moderator. Adin Ross somehow manages to be dumber and dumber every single day. It blows my mind how he has become even stupider than before.
What does a fascist mean? A far right authorization on ultra analyst Benito Mazzulli and Giviante Gentile and Jason Stanley. Like, who the fuck are these people, bro?
He's like reaching new levels. I don't know how the fuck he's doing that. I don't have a head mod. That's not a thing. Adin Ross is worth so much money he'll never have to work another day in his life. Here he is celebrating one of his false copyright claims that stole 8K from a YouTuber a fraction of his size. That's this disgusting abuse from YouTube's broken copyright system that needs to have consequences.
Somebody who I think might be the biggest copyright troll in the history of YouTube just outed himself. Let's talk about how we got to this point, who this person is, and what this all means for YouTube. So this is iShowSpeed. He is the biggest, most watched streamer on all of YouTube right now. But in the summer of 2022, a lot of YouTubers who were talking about iShowSpeed started to get copyright claims. Here's the first one I could find from a YouTuber called Omni. Now, Omni does commentary. You can see his thumbnail down there. He makes great videos. His face is on the screen. He reacts to things. He's not just reposting clips. With that said, he tweeted, "I'm getting copyright claimed for the iShowSpeed clip in my latest video." Disputed it and got rejected in 10 minutes by Thumb Media affiliate, who I don't think even exists.
Yeah, Omni talked about this under one of my tweets as well. This is like literally a company known for doing false copy strikes. YouTube is aware that they know that they are knowingly doing false copy strikes, and YouTube doesn't give a fuck, for the record. YouTube literally did nothing to this company. They have been doing this. Thumb Media affiliate is the one that also came after.
What is a... I wish you would define, what is a false copy strike? Is he saying that he is like filing a copyright claim on something he doesn't own the copyright to, or what is? I'm curious. What is the false copy strikes? I wish you would explain that. I'm really curious what he means by that.
Me as well with Adin. It's the one that Adin is currently celebrating in this tweet.
And on August 11th, 2022, I woke up to this beautiful email in my inbox. I love getting love letters from YouTube. This email was not that. They said, "Hi, Jabroni. A copyright owner using Content ID has claimed some material in your video. It was copyrighted by DRM protection for Cardigan Media by Aegis TM. Claims by Thumb Media affiliate."
Here you have it, identical for the record. A copyright claim was created for content Andrew Tate cannot handle my questions. Thumb Media claimed it on behalf of Adin. This is the video. I'm right here. The entire content of this video is me debating Andrew Tate. If anything, I should be able to content claim Adin Ross for trying to impose this as his own content, as all he did was sit there like a dumbass. I'm literally in the middle of the fucking video. Are you out of your mind, dude? And his dumbass fan base turned around. This has 1.5 million views on my YouTube.
That's not right. It doesn't matter who's doing what. If you ripped a whole video verbatim off of Adin Ross's stream, it doesn't matter if you were the star the whole time. It's his content. He owns this content. It doesn't matter if you were doing everything. He could have literally been doing nothing. He could have not even been on the screen. It could have literally just been a whole video of you the entire time. But if it's on his stream, he owns the content. Didn't Hasan stream it also? Did Hasan upload his stream, or did Hasan upload this stream? It was on his stream and on his call. It doesn't matter if it's on his stream and on his call. I don't know why you guys keep saying that. That doesn't matter. The question is did he upload Adin Ross? Because if he uploaded Adin Ross's stream, then technically it's Adin Ross has the copyright to it. Like, if Hasan uploaded a stream, wouldn't it be Hasan's content? No. Wait, what? This is so simple. What are you talking about? No. It doesn't matter if Hasan is in this video or not. He didn't stream it, only Adin Ross video captured. If only Adin Ross video captured it, yeah, this is Adin Ross's stream. Yeah.
YouTube channel. And they're just trying to fucking milk it. They're trying to take these views and trying to make money off of the video that absolutely is a video that I could claim is mine. It's crazy. I'm on the video. Like that.
Doesn't matter if you're on the video. Tom Cruise is in Mission Impossible. Doesn't mean he owns the copyright to the film.
That is the next level of copyright bullshit, okay? It's not even like I'm reacting to the fucking video. Adin Ross tried to retort this by saying it's actually his video since his socials are in the corner. Saw a clip of it a couple days ago. Yeah, I should have never been kind enough to keep his fucking socials in the corner. That was my problem. That was my issue, I guess. I never signed a fucking release. Suck my cock. I'll see you in court.
You don't have to sign. I don't know what he means. You have to sign. You don't have to sign a release for anything. How can Hasan not understand this? Wait, I'm so confused right now. This is so simple.
You stupid fuck. You fucking imbecile. You absolute fucking dumbass. Holy shit. You stupid little bitch. What an absolutely idiotic baboon-like thing to fucking do. Like, oh, yeah, you signed a release? What release did I sign? You stupid shit. Did you pay me to appear on that fucking Zoom call? No, you didn't. Suck my d. You don't own that fucking content. It's quite literally me in the fucking video. See you in court like you're gonna do shit. What do you mean? You think I'm not gonna pursue this? You think I'm not gonna fucking counter? Are you stupid? This is such an objectively incorrect thing to do. And this fucking dumbass is also, again, stupid enough to like do this. Not only is he stupid enough to do this, he's done it to so many people. And most importantly, perhaps most significantly, he's dumb enough to gloat that he's false copy striking people. You fucking idiots. Look at him. How absolutely idiotic can you be that you're like false striking people and celebrating it? But here's the thing. With Adin, he's in the gutter, right? He's already shit. He's already dog shit. He already knows that people don't like him at this point, and he's made more money than fucking God at this point. The reality is that the crypto gambling casino that runs Stake paid him a fucking fat bag. He's already made a shitload off of crypto rug pulls about fucking, getting his dumbass fan base hooked on gambling and
Destiny. Tom Cruise signs waivers and is a paid participant. Hasan's entire argument here applies to all content where people have a gentleman's agreement. Neither party signed or agreed to anything. What gentleman's agreement? If I go on stream with somebody, I have a gentleman's agreement that I can re-upload the whole thing? I've never heard that before. I have to ask everybody. Fresh and Fit, Adam, or things that I go on if I'm not streaming. Yeah, I have to say, like, people ask me, hey, that chat that we just had, can I upload that content? Which I'm generally chill. I don't really care usually. But yeah, of course you have to ask. There is no agreement that I could just rip your whole VOD just because I was on your stream and I can upload that to my channel.
And he's still over here gloating false copy strikes. It's so incredibly dumb to brag about it too, on top of that. Imagine being so stupid that you literally self-snitch. Oh my God. Oh, what a fucking idiot, dude. You guys want to know why that's like legally permissible, by the way? Because someone who happens to be my fucking podcast co-host made it legal precedent. His name is Ethan Klein.
The problem is the copyright law gives no protection to people like Hasan. But in terms of who owns that recording, I mean, technically it would be Adin Ross who owns it. It was filmed on his channel. It has his watermarks on it. I asked Hasan, I was like, damn, apparently Hasan didn't film it. And so he was using Adin Ross's clip.
Recording of it.
And his court case, quite literally, is taught in law books now. It's copyright law. It's literally ridiculous to do some dumb...
I don't understand how Hasan is so uneducated on fair use. Fair use is an affirmative defense in court. It's not like an ironclad like, oh, this is fair use. Fair use. An affirmative defense means essentially you say, okay, I am guilty of a crime, but I'm not really guilty of a crime because I had a really good reason to do it, right? So for instance, like I could kill somebody if I say it was self-defense, right? So somebody takes me to court for homicide. They say, listen, second-degree murder, okay? Boom. And I'm like, okay, hold on. I actually did kill that guy. I did. But I will affirm, I'll admit to that crime, but I did it for this reason. It was a good reason, so I shouldn't have that crime. Fair use is similar, right? I can violate your copyright, and I can rip some of your video, and it is a copyright violation, but not really, because there's a good reason for it. There's an affirmative defense use called fair use. I think I should be allowed to critique this or satirize it or news broadcast or whatever.
What's up, homie?
Hi. It's crazy how many YouTubers don't understand what fair use is. Still, I feel like what
So I feel you might be listen, it's a weird situation. Let me give you some thought experiments, if you will. Okay? I would state that there are certain times where you can be producing content and it's questionable if you own it.
No. I agree with you. Like, let's say that you call me and then you put my camera up on stream and you just broadcast me for 3 hours and then I upload that broadcast. You could DMCA me. That'd be a fair DMCA, but I could fight that maybe in court. Like, hold on, this was me the whole time. This is bullshit. He didn't contribute anything. Like, I could fight, but it's not a clear-cut case, right? Like, that would still be something I have to fight, right?
I think my entire view on this right now is that you're going to hate this. I feel like most of streaming is probably, like any React variety streaming, is probably mostly illegal. Like, I know you're going to seem this is kind of a weird thing to say, but for instance, if you're browsing YouTube and you watch a YouTube video and it's a 1-minute video or whatever, do you feel like you
makes it transformative? No, I feel like this would have been like a hot take like 7 years ago.
No, okay, so it's not transform, but you do that, right? And then you go and you put your YouTube and you monetize it. So what about if I owned that commercial? Or what about if you just looked at a painting that I did for a brief second on the screen? Like, do you just get to monetize that just because it's not the whole point of your stream? Okay, fine. Maybe you could say because it's such a small part, it doesn't matter. And I'm, even though I didn't talk over it, I'm not being transformative. Okay, what about if now someone clips a portion of that stream and all it is watching my commercial or something? What about then? Who has the copyright over that?
Yeah, we'd all have to fight about it in court, right?
Yeah, what I would say, I think in this situation, I don't know if it's so cut and dry, right? So here's the deal.
Well, hold on. It's fair for a DMCA to be filed, right? Like, if Hasan is on somebody else's show, and that guy's streaming a show that he's dragged a bunch of people onto for that conversation, and now Hasan is re-uploading parts of that show, that's a fair DMCA. He set up the conversation. It's his call. It's his friends. Hasan might have been a guest on that conversation, but it's fair for him to say, I own the rights to the show. I want to put this on my YouTube channel. I don't want you cutting it up and just, jacking him an hour or whatever.
Yeah, so I think the reason, like, when you're talking about rebroadcasting Discord, which I think is what this was, right? It was just someone on Discord and then streaming that. Is that right? Mm-hmm. When you do that, the simple act of you streaming that content, I don't know if that makes that content now yours, right? Like in the same way, if you were broadcasting Star Wars on Discord and I screen capped that and streamed it, I don't know if that now is mine, and you have to DMCA me to do it. I don't know if I feel like that's probably not the case. I feel like when you're in a call with a lot of other people, that there's individual people that have ownership over the content that they're creating.
But we're not talking about any of that right now, so I don't know why you're bringing that up.
Well, I mean, you kind of are, right? Because you're saying that it was wrong for Hasan's wrong for Adin. This is getting complicated. Basically, you're saying Adin was okay to DMCA that. I don't know if that's actually the case, just because he got his stream ripped. Because I don't know if he had ownership over the content he was streaming in the first place.
Well, but he did. What do you mean? It was a Discord call that he was broadcasting on his stream. Who else would have ownership over it?
Well, it could be the other. Is there ever a case where multiple people have ownership over content, or if there is a case where direct ownership can't be assigned? I'll put this another way. So right now, people were broadcasting video when they were doing that, correct?
Yeah.
Like Hasan was on video. Would it have been different if instead of Hasan broadcasting his face, he was broadcasting Star Wars?
Wait, okay, I don't know why you're going to this autistic example that is not related at all to this.
I mean, it is. It's a piece of content that's created.
We're not talking about like we're fighting over like other copyrights or trademarks or registered trademarks that are recognized by other people. That's not what we're fighting about right now. Mm-hmm. It's like, for instance, like for the Raj Royale, if I was on the Raj Royale and it was a 4-hour show and I uploaded like the 45 minutes that I was on, and I'm taking that from Raj's stream, even though I'm on it and I might even be the star for that particular segment, that doesn't give me the right to steal his stuff. Like he could rightfully DMCA me if I were to rip that 45 minutes and put it on my channel.
I feel like in this case, that's not the case. The
that
reason
is.
I say
that,
no, I think that if you're going to go and publish this content and be seriously, any real organization would have to get releases from the people that are on it. And that doesn't happen. And I think that it's probably in limbo, and I think there is shared ownership as a result. If not, you would never ever see people getting releases when they do things like getting in a movie. Like, it hasn't been tried in court for streamers and things like that, but it's probably absolutely the case that you should, if you're on the Austin should be getting a fucking waiver from you. And if he doesn't, I bet he is at risk, legally, that he hasn't done that, and that he probably doesn't have full ownership over that content. If it went down to court in the end, there would probably be some sort of agreement where a portion of the revenue would be derived to this guest and this guest and this guest and everything else. I think that's pretty likely.
I agree that it's hazy and it could be fought in court, but I still think he has every right to DMCA it. Are you saying that, like, you no longer own the copyright on anything that another person is involved in? Like, for instance, let's say I upload like some crazy DayZ scene or whatever. Like, did I need to get a release from the guy that I killed who was shit talking the mic that made the clip funny for me to publish the content?
Does Dan think that Hector's owned the rights to the movies
If
they
I
start?
can add to this, Destiny is right. It is actually a legal precedent that just because there are other subjects in a piece of media that you created, that doesn't mean they own any share of the copyright. Photographers have fought over this before. I used to work as a photographer, that's why I know this. You can take photos of people in public, sell those photos as long as they're not used commercially. So say like in a, I don't know, Botox commercial or cell phone commercial, it's fine. There's
You mean so as long as
with...
they don't monetize it, is what you're saying?
No. As long as it's not used in a commercial setting, so say to sell a product. So there was a woman whose Facebook photo was used in a Virgin cell phone ad at a subway stop. That was illegal. But if I were to take a photo of that same person and, say, monetize it in some way, where, I run ads on a video that includes her, then that's fine.
I think you're wrong completely. But I'm not a lawyer.
Damn.
But, I mean, can you take a photo of someone and have the copyright of that? Yes. Can you go and make a business and have a sponsored stream and have ads showing and things like that? No. You can't set up a Twitch stream 24/7 of that stuff. I would be skeptical of that being the case. But I don't think either of us have the legal skills to be like, oh, well, I can point to this case and that and that. I'm just going off my gut. So I understand what you're saying. There was even there was a famous case where a guy had a photo that a monkey took. And he was trying to make money off of it, and then I'm sure you're familiar with this. And then the monkey won, or whoever had custody of the monkey won, right?
I think PETA supported the monkey. It was kind of weird, but
so yeah, that's like a kind of thing in this case.
Yeah,
but
the thing, like the distinction I'm making here is the actual piece of media that you created involving another subject isn't itself an advertisement. Just because you're running ads. Using that piece of media, that doesn't mean it is the advertisement.
Yeah, so right now we're both in a call. Let's say we're both on video, yeah? So what you're saying is you feel like you could go and monetize it and have the copyright over that conversation?
Well, if I was the one recording it.
Oh, yeah, so what about if I was also recording it?
Well, then your recording, you would own that piece of the recording.
Okay, but what about if they're bit for bit the same? Which they could be.
Well, it wouldn't matter because
really. So you're saying that two people can have the same copyright over the exact same piece of data? Exactly.
So,
well, you're just that's not true.
Again, no. Again, we can use like the photography example. If you take a photo with somebody else's camera, that is still your photo. You're the one who took it. So if I set up a photograph of I don't know something, say like New York skyline or some shit. So I took a photo, and then somebody else came up, pressed the button, and took the photo. They would own that photo, even though it's exactly bit for bit the same. It doesn't matter. It's the action of you being the one making the recording that matters. It doesn't matter if it's identical to some other piece of media. So like a live stream.
Okay, well, I mean, as I've said before,
by the way, you are going to get, like, especially on a live stream where you do have, like, compression artifacting and stuff, there is going to be technical differences in each live stream. They might be not, like, apparent But there are going to be technical differences.
Absolutely.
So you're going to see like a pixel being different.
Steve, shut the fuck up. Okay, you're actually fucking retarded. I'm trying to have like a fucking 900 IQ shit coming in here, and you're like, well, actually, the pixels are different. Bro, that's not what I'm talking about. The pixels don't fucking matter if you're broadcasting Star Wars. I'm using Star Wars as
Star Wars is a copyrighted
and
piece of
trademark
work.
Do you think that when you go
Adin Ross,
actually getting a copyright on a piece of content, do you think that significantly strengthens your stuff? Whereas if you don't have that, you don't own it. Meaning, if I go do a
no. Okay, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. Just because, I'm not saying that if you watch Star Wars and film it on your camera, because you filmed it on your camera, you own the copyright. The intellectual property is owned by somebody, and you're reproducing that intellectual property.
Why do game shows get releases from people?
What do you mean?
I can't be any more clear than what I just said. I don't know if it's actually possible.
What do you mean by
I'll try.
game show?
When you go onto a television game show, like for instance Jeopardy or something else, you go onto that show and they say, "Hey Dan, that'd be great to have you on that show. We love it. Can you go and sign these docs saying that we can use your likeness and that you can come on here and you're not going to have a copyright claim?" Would that work?
I'm not understanding.
I give up.
You mean like Jeopardy or?
You're trolling me, right?
Well, like what about like a Star Wars TV show?
No, I'm not playing this. I'm actually trying to have real conversations over here, and you guys are fucking 14 IQ between the two of you. No.
Well, I'm just trying to ask you a clarifying question because I don't understand what you're saying. I just want to understand like the context.
I think what Dan is trying to ask is like why?
No, I don't need the fucking soy voice explainer. There's no what am I trying to say?
I'm saying why do people sign releases at all when they go on shows? That's what Dan is trying to ask. If it doesn't matter anyway.
Oh, okay. So like any type of show. So like it could be a certain type of Twitch stream, or it could be Jeopardy, something like that.
Yeah.
Sure.
And what type of release?
Bro, are you capping right now? I feel like you're not being for real, for real.
There are different types of releases. Like what type of release are you talking about?
Well, I mean, probably the one that we would be talking about here would be a release not having a claim over any of the content on the show, waiving your rights to have any ownership of the content, that type of thing.
Okay, it's probably just to be safe and cover their legal bases if it has anything to do with copyright. But
why? Why do you have to?
Usually when you sign a media release, it's my understanding, you have things like embargoes where you can't talk about what you did. That's usually releases if you're going to go on, say, like a game show that isn't going to be like uploaded right away. And on top of that, there's other things too, like you can't sue for some form of defamation if you don't like what happens on the show, crap like that.
Okay.
Like, isn't a release where you're trying to like release them from liability? Isn't that why it's a release?
Yeah, like I don't know what type of release he's talking about specifically. I've never heard of a copyright release if somebody's going to go on a game show.
Well, I think he's just trying to use an example because he doesn't.
I'm not doing this fucking troll shit from you two fucking retards. Like it's on a.
Well,
I don't know. It's on me. It's on me because I come in here and I expect to have real conversations, and then I get this fucking
I worked as a photographer for a while, and I've had to.
Who asked? Honestly, who asked? I don't care. Okay, why? What is? Okay.
Well, I have some experience with this type of thing.
It's like a directly related thing.
Yeah, when I worked as a photographer, I did have, I did make photo sets for country music singers, clothing models, stuff like that. And usually when you sign releases, it's mostly in regards to embargoes with talking about what the media is, or something in regards to first publication rights. So I may own some amount of rights to the photo where, say, I can display it on my website as, an example of my previous work, but I can't publish it right away. It has to be like a year later. But like, I've never heard of a media release where if somebody goes on a game show or something, they have to sign and say, I don't own any amount of this work. I've literally never heard of that in my life.
Yeah, can you give what's like an example of that, Dan?
Like if I were to take a photo of people on the street, do I have to make them all sign a media release? No, I own that. So if the studio is filming people on a game show, they're the ones that own that. They don't have to make people on there sign a media release. Like, there isn't any kind of assumption that the people who are a subject in whatever media is being created have any ownership over that media. It's only if they're signing some sort of contract where they own some amount of rights because they're a producer, or if they're going to get a certain amount of net revenue or gross revenue.
What about, I want you to imagine a situation. Imagine you're on a beach and there's a camera, and that camera is taking a photo of a lobster. And on the shutter button, there are two other lobsters, and they both press the shutter button at the same time.
Well, you already gave the monkey example.
Yeah, I know, but who would own the copyright in this place? Because there's two lobsters.
Know, who cares?
Well, I mean, I need to know. There's two lobsters pressing the shutter button at the same time, and one person owns copyright,
well,
right?
I guess 50%. Like they own 50%.
Wrong. Lobsters don't have a brain and can't be assigned copyright. Boom, done it.
The assumption would be if they're sentient.
That was a trick question. So you admit they're not sentient? Got it.
No, I didn't admit that. Yeah, I know what video you're referring to. I've changed my stance slightly.
Oh, wow, but you feel like a real asshole now, Dan. Okay, wait, I'm sorry. Let's back up a lot, okay? Let's make it personal, Dan.
I don't think I want to do that.
Well, I've got a lot of, I mean, it can be you or any orbiter, but like I've got a lot of videos of obviously like you and me talking, or you and another orbiter talking, or whatever. Even though that other person might be like the star of my content, technically because it's my broadcast, I still own the copyright to that. Right? Like there's no way they could ever say like, oh, cool, hey, like I took that that stream that you did that I was chatting with, I liked it a lot. I took that and I published it on my YouTube, or like I sold that to somebody else and they gave me a lot of money for it. Like I don't think you could do that, right?
I honestly don't know. I mean, I'm going to keep coming back to this example, but
oh yeah, sure. If you want to say, like it's hard to
recording something. No, I was just going to say like the act of you recording something and broadcasting it, I don't think makes that enough of a derivative solo product where you can say this is now mine. Well, I could say wait, no, I'm DMCAing that because that has my content in it. I don't know, like this hasn't been tried in court enough. My view on it would be the same as is if I came in here and played the new whatever fucking Kanye or whatever.
I think
it doesn't matter. If I play that,
yeah,
you don't get to say this is mine. Right?
Yeah, but that's different.
What?
That's somebody else's. I think I understand what you're saying.
Something that already has a license. I think I understand.
No, wait, hold on. I know what he's getting at. What Dan is getting at is he's trying to argue. I'm so sorry. I wasn't even memeing. I'm sorry. I really do understand. No, hold on. I'm sorry. I really do understand. Dan is trying to argue that when you do the video and somebody else sees it, that video, that you're doing a performance essentially. And what Dan is saying is that, like a Star Wars movie, right? My video that I'm broadcasting to you, that's a performance. It's a performance that I do on my stream that I have the copyright of, and it's a performance that I kind of share with you that you can, view basically. But if you're going to make like a derivative work or something based off of my performance that I'm displaying to you, then it's not right that you could DMCA me for also wanting to show my performance somewhere else. Is essentially, I think, the argument he's trying to make. I think that the complicated matter is to try to figure out like, well, what is a performance, So like, for instance, how we said that if you capture people in the background of a photo, or if you're taking a video outside, people in the background probably can't sue you, I don't think, if they show up in the video. However, if you took a video of somebody and in the background there was like a whole Broadway play going on, they probably could sue you, I imagine, because it's like their whole performance is now like part of the video, and that's what they would fight over, I think.
Well, if you're an entertainer, part of what you do is a performance. If you're a singer, what you sing is the same case. I mean, to simplify, what about when
pretty easily.
Okay, cool. When Lycan was on and singing a song, would that change things? Because Lycan's come on before and he's played the guitar and done something. What changes then?
I feel like for that, I feel like Lycan could argue that, well, look, this is actually, I own this performance. This is my performance. It's not just a thing on Destiny Stream. What?
No. So, two problems here. You don't own a license to your likeness. So, when so-and-so, Hasan goes on Adin Ross's stream. He doesn't own a license to his likeness. That's why if you take a photo in public, people can't tell you to sign a release, this and that.
True, but we're not talking about likeness here. We're talking about a unique performance, though, right?
Well, no, you don't own a license to what you say either. If you have a certain opinion on Russia-Ukraine and there's a debate going on, you don't own a license to your opinion on Russia-Ukraine. You may own a license to whatever music you produce, and say if somebody comes on somebody else's stream, plays some sort of song, they maybe could argue that, hey, I own part of the stream or all of it because you used licensed content in that stream. You could maybe argue in court some other details, because why would you play licensed music that you want to keep licensed and monetized on somebody else's stream without
and I think that's what Dan's essentially arguing, is he's saying that, like, what if Lycan comes on and plays like one of his songs? Do I automatically get ownership of it?
That's a different case. But if we're talking about Hasan going on Adin Ross's stream, he can argue with Adin Ross on Nazism, Russia, Ukraine, or something, but he doesn't own a license to those opinions, and he doesn't own a license
not the opinions,
to his
but the
likeness.
video camera footage. That's what Dan is essentially asking.
That is something that would give Hasan, a reasonable claim to copyright. But he doesn't. If Adin Ross was the only one recording, he's taking Adin Ross's recording. Hasan doesn't own a license to his own likeness or his political opinions. So that is Adin Ross's stream. He owns the copyright to it. And if Hasan re-uploads it without adding any kind of additional commentary or changing it some way that would be transformative to make it reasonably considered a different type of content, then he can't argue fair use, and he's just violating copyright.
Well, Dan?
You're just so confidently speaking when you're just wrong. I don't.
Well, explain why I'm wrong. I'm confident because I'm pretty damn sure I'm right.
Well, you're wrong. Do we have any lawyers in chat we can bring on?
What am I wrong about? Like, by the way, I did photography for a good 5 years before I started doing YouTube. I've been through some of this crap.
I don't know. When you say that, it almost make. Oh, there we go. We got Pisco. Pisco can handle it.
What up? How you doing?
Good. Wait, are you on my side? Do you not know?
Wait, Pisco, Pisco.
You've been shut the fuck off. You've been paying attention. Don't play into his games. He knows exactly what's going on.
Let me just ask a question. Here's a question. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say I show up on somebody's stream, okay? Mm-hmm. They invite me into a Discord call with 4 or 5 other figures, okay? One of them is really famous. Yeah. Andrew Tate's there. I'm gonna go debate Andrew Tate. So I'm on his stream. He's broadcasting everything. He's capturing the Discord, and then he uploads that stream later onto YouTube. It's his Twitch stream or whatever. Let's say that I go to my YouTube channel. I'm like, oh shit, I had a sick debate with Andrew Tate on Adin Ross's stream. I'm gonna take the part where I was on stream, and I'm gonna upload that section of a stream. I'm just gonna rip that verbatim, no transformation or whatever. I'm gonna put it on my YouTube channel since I was part of that stream, and because it's like my performance in the webcam. Do you think I can claim, and then let's say that person says, well, hold on, you just ripped part of my stream, I'm gonna DMCA you. What's the status? Yeah. Who owns copyright of that? Yeah, go for it.
So first of all, this is not legal advice, whatever. I think Dan is absolutely correct when he says that a lot of this has not been, this is uncharted territory.
Of course.
That's fucking right. The answer is we don't know, and anyone who's confident that knows is retarded.
Okay, can you
God,
prove
you're so smart.
Like you can easily prove this. Okay, you can easily prove me wrong. Show me a case where somebody was able to prove that they have a license to their own likeness or their own political opinions.
You're not understanding.
That's all you have to do.
The problem. So it's an issue of copyright, and so I would agree with you that you don't have a
copyright is a license. Show me anybody who has a copyrighted license to their own likeness or political opinions.
A copyright is like
that's what Hasan would have to prove in order to claim that he has a right to ownership of that stream.
No one is arguing that likeness is protected by copyright. The copyright statute is very clear on the subject matter of copyright. Doesn't include likenesses. So I don't think anyone is arguing.
Right. So you'd have to argue that Hasan has some sort of license to his political opinions.
No, I don't think that's the good speech. No, I don't think.
Then you have no argument. You've just admitted you're wrong.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so on what basis can Hasan claim he has ownership over Adin Ross's stream?
So what is potentially copyrightable by the copyright statute in Adin's stream. The stream itself is an audiovisual work.
He recorded it. That's what makes it his.
So just the mere recording of an audiovisual work by itself hasn't been enough to show that you are the author.
Yes, it is.
So let me give you an
Wait,
example.
hold on. No, it's not, because if you record Star Wars in a theater, you can't say you own that, even if you're recording.
Well, no,
right?
that's already licensed.
Hang on a second. Don't worry about licensing. Licensing, when people talk about licensing, they're thinking about private interactions between two parties and giving.
No.
What do you mean, no?
That's already a licensed work.
Are you a lawyer?
It's a copyright license.
A copyright protection.
You did photography for 5 years. Just slow your roll, all right?
So
if you film Star Wars, you're filming something that has a license already. If I film Hasan, there's no license to his likeness.
I want to start at absolute base zero. What is copyright? And what works are qualified for copyright? Do you know?
You didn't answer my fucking question.
Yeah,
On
so
what
I'll give you the
basis
answer.
does Hasan-
So the argument, right? The argument that he would make, which I'm not saying is going to be a successful argument, but I'm just trying to represent him well, not as someone who's saying like he thinks that political speech is protected or he thinks that his image is protected. His argument would be that he is a co-author of the audiovisual work that is protected by copyright. And so he
it's
has
not his fucking stream. He's not an author.
These things, when Dan says that they're untested, he's absolutely correct.
No, it's not.
No, he is correct.
Not. No, it's not. No, it's
this
not.
is an issue.
No.
This is an
He's
issue.
not an author. He's not the one who recorded the stream. He's not the one who pressed the
Have you read
replay
any
button.
copyright
No.
case ever? Are you a lawyer?
Yes, I have.
Are you a lawyer?
Okay, hold on,
okay,
wait,
so-
stop. Asking
sorry,
somebody's
wait.
a lawyer has no bearing on the stream whatsoever.
Destiny,
So,
Destiny,
wait,
like, these
wait,
people
hang on
are
a second,
fucking
hang on a second.
retarded, dude. Like,
Wait,
there's
a
no
second.
fucking
Wait.
argument.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear.
He's not even making a fucking argument.
Wait. I just made an argument, and you can repeat it for me if you can. So Hasan's argument would be, not saying it's a successful one, is that he would be a joint author of the audiovisual work of the fixed stream. You know, copyright only exists in fixed in works that are fixed in a tangible medium of expression. So it would have to be a fixed work. So I'm assuming it's being recorded on Twitch's servers.
What's the argument for him being an author?
The same argument that a director would have, even though he's not the one who's having the camera, right? I'm not saying it's a successful argument, but there is a colorable argument that someone who's providing, like when there is no underlying contract that clarifies whose role is what, if there's two people streaming at the same time, the colorable argument would be one of joint authorship. So did I not make an argument? Did I make an argument? Yes or no?
No. Well, you did
I make an argument?
made
Yes
a
or no?
premise. You didn't make an
No,
argument.
did what I just give, is that a potential argument?
Your premise. Well, no. Your premise was that
It's not a wait. I just want to be clear.
Hasan could be
Is that
considered an author. The
is that
argument
an argument
would
for
be
copyright protection or
for
not?
Hasan's authorship.
Wait. I just want to be clear.
Well,
Is
by the
what I
way,
just
being
gave-
an author does not give somebody copyright permission, so that's not
is
even
what
really
I
an
just
argument
gave
related
a
to the
colorful-
discussion.
Oh, hang on a second. Is this stream an audiovisual work?
Yeah, sure, it's Destiny's
Is it
stream.
fixed in is it fixed in a tangible medium of expression? I.e., is it being recorded in some hard drive somewhere?
Well, yeah, Destiny is.
Okay, so we
So are
agree.
you saying you'd be able to argue for
No,
the
I'm
ownership
just
of
telling you
Destiny's
this-
stream because you
Hang on
have
a second.
co-authorship?
You don't even think I've been given an argument.
I'm just asking. Do you
Am I
think
giving
that
an
you
argument,
have
yes or
some
no?
sort of legal argument?
Am I giving an argument,
No,
yes
you
or no?
didn't. No, you didn't. What you did
Why
was you
didn't I?
gave a premise. The premise was Hasan has some sort of authorship over the stream. The argument would have to that you haven't made yet is why he would have authorship and why that would grant him copyright permissions.
But that is an argument that would get you to copyright protection.
No,
if he wasn't,
okay.
wait, hang on a second. If someone's an author of a work, are they entitled to copyright protection?
No, it only depends if they're. No,
Wait,
it
just to be
only
clear.
depends.
No, authors are not initially.
By the way,
default
like
vested
you're
with
using the
copyright
term author in a very unspecific, vague way. What do you
protection.
mean?
No, I'm
by
using it the
fucking
way the
authorship?
copyright statute is.
Well, hold on. Let's
You're
be
not a
clear.
lawyer, right?
Wait. Hold on. Let's be clear. Hold on. Well, Pisco, what you're saying is not true, right? An author is not necessarily granted copyright protection. If I write a script for Hollywood,
Default matter. As a
is it-
default matter, the author of a work, once it's if I doodle something on my paper right now, I have copyright protection over what I just drew.
what if I commission you?
Right?
What if I commission you to draw it?
That's different. That's different.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yeah, sure. Then
different,
I just to specify. I guess.
There's
Okay. Sorry.
specific rules related
if we're
to
going
it.
to if we're
Works
going
for
to
hire.
well that's okay well if we're going to use that kind of example to analogize what happened with Adin Ross, Adin Ross would be the author because he's the one who fucking recorded the stream, man.
We're not even there yet. You're not even granting that this is a colorable argument, that it's even an argument.
Okay, dude. Yes no? Okay, dude, you have two things to prove. Prove that Hasan has some sort of authorship in relation to Adin Ross's stream.
Are you going to answer my question, or are you just going to
prove and prove that authorship would grant him copyright access to Adin Ross's stream?
Are you going to answer my question?
You're just wasting our fucking time. You're the one who made the fucking premise and argument. So
first of all, you didn't even let me talk. I'm just here to explain away.
Well, you're not talking about fucking anything. Prove that Hasan has some sort of authorship over Adin Ross's stream.
First of all,
that gives him copyright privileges.
I just want to be clear that
Destiny, this guy's a fucking idiot. Like, both of them are wasting your fucking time.
I just want to be clear that when I came into this entire conversation,
I don't really give a fuck, dude. Make an argument. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Are you mean?
So prove fucking Hasan has authorship over Adin Ross's stream.
That's not my position.
Prove that gives him copyright. You literally. Okay, if that's not your position, then what the fuck are you doing here?
My position is that Dan is correct. That these difficult questions of joint authorship.
No, he's not.
Are you memeing or are you being real?
Is this
I'm being real. You're both being fucking stupid. So, Dan, what's your actual position? Like, is your argument that Hasan has authorship over Adin Ross's stream? Is that his argument?
No, his position was that
Okay, wait. Don't speak for him.
Well, he said it. No, he said it.
Don't speak for him. Dan, what is your actual position? Do you think that Hasan owns some sort of authorship over Adin Ross's stream?
I think that the question over who has the full copyright is completely unknown, so that probably doing a DMCA vindictively is not okay. And I don't think it's clear cut.
Okay, so if City TV, so if some news station like CNN were to do interviews with people on the street, it's up in the air who owns the copyright to that fucking content?
No. I think that there's better and worse arguments depending on what is your level of.
Okay, so wait. So if CNN does street interviews with people, so if CNN does street interviews with people or interviews Trump protesters, you're telling me the Trump protesters own some sort of authorship?
No. See, you're missing a piece here. You're conveniently missing a part.
What's the piece?
What about if an NFL game is playing in the background and you see the entirety of the game?
Yeah, so
that's not copyrighted. It's happening in real time.
Behind that,
it's happening in real time. You can't say that it's happening in real time.
There's a license behind.
Don't say license. It's a copyright protection. Use the right word. When you talk about licensing, everyone's thinking about giving grants.
It's not happening in real time because you're filming footage of it.
Real time doesn't matter.
The actual fucking game. If you're there at the game and you film footage from your camera, you own that. If there's footage of an NFL game in the background, somebody's already filming that, and that would be considered licensed content. You people are so fucking dumb.
What do you know about copyright? You think you know way more than you do. Like, you're not even letting people finish.
Make a goddamn argument.
It's like Dunning-Kruger.
I know or don't know. Make a fucking argument. Neither of you have done that.
So the truth is, and like so many other things in copyright, like fair use, for instance, so much of authorship, modicum of creativity needed for originality, questions related to authorship. These are tough questions where there aren't strict bounds defined by the statute.
There are.
There are not. I'm sorry.
Hasan does not own a license to his likeness. He doesn't own a license to his political opinions. And if somebody films a video or stream, then and Adin Ross was the one who filmed it.
Wait.
Adin Ross is the one who owns the fucking copyright.
Did you hear me? Did you or did you not?
As that. People keep trying to inject like different context in different situations.
Did you or did you not hear me? Did you or did you not?
You don't even understand any
Did you or
of these
did you not
fucking
hear?
concepts.
Did you or did you not hear me say that
make an argument for
did
why?
Did you or did you not hear?
You gotta let other people talk.
I don't give a fuck.
I know you don't. Is this like the legendary debater? Do you just go no and talk over everyone the whole time?
Did you?
You're not.
All you can do is call me wrong, and
I can't do anything. No one can say anything. You won't shut the fuck up.
Argument.
No one's allowed to talk. Did you or did you not hear me say? Did you or did you not hear me say that political speech and likeness is not protected by the copyright statute?
And what is the argument
heard me say
for
that,
why
right?
Hasan would own copyright over fucking
Adin Ross's stream? He said that it's murky. I can't.
I'm asking you what the argument is. I'm not asking you for dead proof, inexplicably, that nobody could ever contest it.
Calm the fuck down.
What's the argument?
Calm the fuck down. First of all, Dan and I's argument. Are you gonna let me finish this sentence?
No, he won't. I guarantee
Dan
it.
and I's argument isn't that it's super clear cut that Hasan owns a copyright entitlement.
So you're
to the
strawmanning
stream.
me.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Just to be clear, our position is not going to be prove beyond a reasonable doubt that
I
Hasan's
never
entitled
said
to
that.
authorship.
I said
I just want to be
make a
clear
fucking
about what
argument.
I just want to be clear about what you're expecting.
Make the argument.
Okay. So the argument from Hasan would be that he put a great amount of creativity and such that he's entitled.
Okay, so where's
to
the proof that he owns a
authorship-
license to his creativity?
Wait, what do you mean? When do you think?
What
that
license does Hasan have?
How do you get copyright? Wait, can you even tell us how does one get?
License does Adin Ross?
Vegan, we have a problem.
Vegan, how do you get copyright in a work?
I don't need to answer that. Where
do you
is
know?
the proof that Hasan owns the
do you,
license to
do
what
you
he
need
said
to know?
in Adin Ross stream?
How do you get copyright protection over work? Yes.
He has a license over what he said. Where's the proof he owns a license over what he said?
Vegan,
You're saying political opinions can be licensed? Oh,
no,
I think
no one's saying that.
Okay,
Vegan. How does someone get copyright protection over a work?
Over that? I don't need to answer that. You're the one who made the fucking argument.
Listen, vegan. The problem with your question is it presupposes that you would need a license. A license. You don't need a license to get copyright protection. Copyright protection. Do you know how you get a copyright protection?
Instantly.
Well, you either have to have a license to the work, or it has to be considered.
Wait, what does it mean? You would have to have a license? No. How do you get copyright protection over your work? How do you do it?
Well, it's assumed you already own a license to it if you created it.
So you have to. How is copyright protection vested?
What do you mean tested?
Vested. How does one obtain it?
Well, again, it's assumed if you're the one who creates something.
Really? So like if I just dance on the street, do I own a copyright to that?
No.
No. Why not?
Well, because I don't know.
You know anything about what the you're talking about?
I don't
know shit. These are like
you're
basic
the one who made the
questions about how. This is basic questions about how one is entitled to copyright in the first place.
By the way, you can't copyright a fucking dance. There's
you actually can.
For it.
Wait.
Well,
you actually
can
can.
copyright
There's choreographic
to a dance.
So the choreographic work, right? That's one of the works of authorships protected by the copyright statute, 17 USC 102. So I would ask you again: do you know anything about copyright?
I would be interested just to know if there's ever been a dance copyrighted. But
how about
anyway,
the Fortnite?
Wait.
Have you not heard about? You know shit about copyright? Wait, some of the most famous copyright cases that are happening right now.
Hold on, I will say. Let me come in. Hold on, let me come in with a quick fact check. Okay, 17 USC 102 Section A. Okay, it talks about copyright protection subsists, and it says in sub 4 pantomimes and choreographic works. To be clear,
absolutely protectable, but just doing some creative work is not enough. It needs to be fixed in any tangible medium of expression. So when you ask, prove that Hasan has a license, prove that Hasan has gotten a license to the work, it's silly because the argument isn't that you would get copyright through a license. It would be that he fixed the work in a tangible medium of expression, i.e. he recorded it while it was happening, and that he was an author. Now, if you're going to say, well, that's a weak...
Then what's the argument for his authorship?
So the argument for his authorship, which I don't think is necessarily a great one, not having seen the stream, right? Not having seen the stream, I'm not here to argue the particular facts. I was just here to tell everyone that I think Dan is absolutely correct that streaming is a very untested medium, and he's absolutely right that no one knows how these cases are going to go.
Since it's the exact same thing as just film, so
it's not. No, it's not.
It is.
Wait, I can tell you very easy ways in which they're different.
Recording with a camera.
It's different in many ways. Now, they're the same category of protected work, audiovisual works that are going to be protected, but of course, sometimes you arguably wouldn't even have copyright in a stream. So I'll give you an example. There was a famous case in which recently, I think, where someone accidentally pressed start stream. And the argument was, would you even have copyright protection over a stream that you accidentally start? The answer, that is not a clear answer. There's not a clear answer there, just so you know. Wait, how do you know?
You just
Have you studied any of the case law?
Well, did the fucking monkey example that we brought up, did the monkey deliberately press the fucking record button? It doesn't matter if you're the one who pressed record.
Your ignorance about the topic is so.
If I had a
camera, the monkey case. They didn't even, from what I recall, they didn't even reach the merits in the monkey case. That was dismissed on like standing grounds related to jurisdiction. And so people citing the monkey case, everyone laughs at you who's a lawyer who's actually read the case or looked at it because they don't even. And it's not even a controlling opinion that applies throughout the entire world, the entire country. And so
I really don't even
it's not a
care.
decided
Like, what's
question.
What's the argument in favor of Hasan's authorship, and why would that grant him copyright
I'll point you
protection?
to I'll point you to a case. Do you know the Titanic movie?
I've heard of that.
So you know how James Cameron, right? He's not the one necessarily actually recording all the things that are happening, right? He's not the one who's pressing the camera, but it's his creative vision, right? It's his he's the one who is the mastermind behind what's going on. And so even though he's not the one actually doing the recording or actually pressing the button, doesn't necessarily mean that he is not the author. And in cases of streamers, I could see a colorable argument if you're saying, well, I went on Adin Ross's stream and this was it was planned that I would provide content.
It's just analogous. In the James Cameron case, they signed a contract with the fucking studio where they'd own the rights. So
okay, so in the absence of a contract, wouldn't you say, you just said it, right? In the James Cameron case, they signed a contract.
In the absence of a contract, the person who fucking records is the one who owns it.
It's beautiful. Your point just detracted exactly from your argument. If there's a contract and it clearly lays out everything that's going to be said, presumably you're going to follow the contract. But if there's no contract on point, then there's room, right? There's play on the joint. There's ambiguity. There's ambiguity, and that's what Dan is arguing for.
Okay, so there's ambiguity if CNN does street interviews. Who owns that content?
No, I think in those cases it would be a factual question. It would be a factual question about who's masterminding, who's creating, who's like. That's why you would sign a contract with like a Tucker Carlson, right? Assume that Tucker Carlson and Fox never sign a contract, right? They never signed a contract, and
Fox, the studio would be the one who owns it because the fucking Tucker Carlson isn't the one who owns the footage.
Well, how do you know that? In the absence of a contract, let's say there was no contract.
Because the studio who's doing the fucking filming are the ones who are doing the filming. Tucker Carlson wasn't doing the filming. Like, this argument would result in photographers who are doing street photography. Everyone who's in the photo could make a claim to owning the fucking photo.
No, they wouldn't. And first of all, it's not a. I don't even think
this.
I don't think that
Hasan
Hasan
fucking care about reality.
Bro, you don't even know how. You don't know the first thing about the copyright statute. You don't know anything about its terms. You don't know how copyright is given.
That's right. Okay, yeah, right.
You came on here to talk about something you don't know.
They
no one said that. No one said that.
Yeah, that's what you said.
But there's a reason why
these ones who necessarily have authorship. It could be the people doing the interview who had the idea for the topic, and because it's their idea, then they own the footage. Like that. This is just fucking retarded.
So if CNN and Fox collaborate on some project together, and they have filmers on both sides filming some guy who's not affiliated, who owns the copyright?
Sorry, give me the example again.
What? So you have Fox and CNN. They're both contributing, and they're both putting their creative influences into recording somebody, a third party not affiliated with either channel.
It happens all the time. They would own their own fucking footage.
Oof.
Have you ever seen a fucking press conference?
They're jointly.
Have you ever seen a fucking press conference?
They're jointly recording.
Right. Have you ever seen a fucking press conference?
They're jointly recording.
What do you mean jointly recording? If
there's
they
only
agree to
one.
Share each other's footage, then they're agreeing
there's
to share
one.
each other's
There's one.
footage.
There's one contractor who's filming everything, and they give at the end there's 2 hard drives, and they give them to each person, each representative, CNN and Fox.
Well, then the fucking contractor would be the one who owns the fucking license.
That's so stupid.
And then they would give
true.
it to Fox and
no, they
CNN.
wouldn't.
Then what are you talking?
If you
about?
hire a wedding photographer,
if they're the ones who are if there's a fucking this example doesn't even make sense. Are you saying there's like a videographer who takes photos and sells those photos to CNN and Fox? Well, then CNN and Fox would each own a license to that because they paid for the fucking license.
Stop saying license. Copyright. They own a copyright.
There's no difference.
If there is a difference between a license and a copyright protection. Why do you? What's your?
No, not in the context I'm using it, but whatever. If you
prefer
me to use copyright, I'll use copyright.
In your proprietary usage of the word, I guess, but in the actual discussion where these legal terms matter and you're trying not to confuse people, you shouldn't use license. If you are talking about
is copyright a license?
A copyright has a great many protections. If you go to section 106,
I don't even give a shit.
106,
I don't even give a shit. Just make your point.
If you go to 17
USC, I don't give a shit. You're wasting.
Wait. If you go to 17,
I don't give a shit. You're wasting everybody's time.
If you go to 17, if you go to 17 USC 106,
I don't give a shit. Why the fuck are you talking about irrelevant bullcrap?
No, because you just asked.
Use the term copyright.
You just asked if it was a license, and I'm telling you how it's more broad than a license. And so one way, You asked whether or not it was.
I don't understand how you don't go fucking insane by listening to these fucking retards waste your fucking time.
You are the one who sounds dumb. You don't know anything about copyright.
I don't fucking care. I'll use the term copyright. You fucking idiot.
Well, you asked the question, then I was answering it, and you got so mad that you
That's great. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So
what the fuck is your argument for Hasan making a claim that he has authorship?
So if you are going to grant that there are situations, I don't think you have yet, where there could be joint authorship between two equals, right? Are you going to grant that there's a possibility that could happen?
What do you mean joint
Is there
authorship?
such thing?
What do
Is there
you
such thing
mean
as
by fucking authorship?
Is there such thing as joint authorship? Yes or no?
What do you even mean by fucking authorship?
I mean authorship as the statutes and as the law recognizes.
Oh, the statutes and the law, right? Okay.
No, not statutes. Statutes.
Wait, hold on, Pisco.
Statutes.
Pisco, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, what's up?
If what you were saying was true, then theoretically, wouldn't this put all paparazzi out of business immediately? If Kanye West was coming out of his house and somebody took a video or photograph of him, couldn't Kanye West say, well, I'm DMCAing all of you because this is my performance of walking out of my house?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. There's already a legal precedent for this. This guy's just crazy.
So there's absolutely precedent for photos and the subjects of the photos not being entitled to copyright protection. That I mean,
it doesn't matter.
Part
it's
of that,
the same for
part
photos,
of that is
same for video, same for recordings.
No, it's not because it's
yes,
not.
It
They're
is.
Not.
No, it's the exact same thing. It is legally considered the exact same thing.
You don't know the first thing about the law. You don't even know how fucking copyrighted.
You can't even fucking explain to me what you mean by authorship. So yeah, you're a fucking expert.
That's the whole question. That courts ultimately, when there's a dispute about who is the creative mastermind behind a work, those are literally
the
words.
Mastermind is Adin Ross because he's the one who fucking
hang on a second. They'll literally use words like mastermind and person who's pulling the strings. They'll use words like that because the courts.
That's great. That's great. So if we're gonna talk,
you're not gonna let me. Wait, you're not gonna let me
fucking
finish.
Hasan stream specifically.
Do you acknowledge that? Wait. You dodged the question.
Had any idea?
You dodged the question. Is there such thing as joint authorship? Yes or no?
What do you mean by fucking authorship?
Authorship meaning someone who's entitled to copyright protections because they're the ones who created the work as understood by American law.
That does not fucking explain what authorship is.
Yes, it does. If a court determines that
you used another fucking term in place of authorship.
The ultimate bedrock of this is what the courts are going to consider to be the.
Did this guy explain to you what authorship is?
I don't know, Pisco. I missed that. What is authorship, Pisco?
Okay. Dude, you're just fucking trolling this.
An author under the statute, right, and under copyright is the person who's entitled to the copyright protection of the statute and of copyright in general because they are the creative mastermind. They're the creative artist behind what's going on, right? And ultimately the bedrock is the bedrock of that is whoever the courts are going to acknowledge as such. Okay, that's the bedrock.
Okay. Well, this settles things.
So do you acknowledge that there's? Do you acknowledge?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, great. We can clean this up.
Is there such thing as joint? Are you going to answer my question? I'm not going to move forward to answer my question.
You're going.
I'm not going to go forward to you.
Excuse me. I'm not going to go forward to answer my question.
I've answered your question. You're going to answer my question.
Shut the f up.
Is there such? You're so stupid. I thought you were a good debater.
No,
you're dumb.
You didn't even ask me a fucking question, so I don't know why the fuck
I did. Wait. Do you remember what question I asked? What question I asked?
If I fucking just said
you don't, because you're fucking coked out.
Obviously, I wouldn't know
what coked out idiot, and you don't know what the is going on in the conversation. The conversation is above your head. You're just not following. You're not following.
Destiny, get this guy to shut the fuck up for 2 seconds.
Are you gonna cry?
Too much cry? Too much heat in the Wait, Pisco, who am I? Can you tell me how this the argument for Hasan? Can you tell me how this grants him copyright over it? Can you?
I'm not answering any questions.
I'm the one asking that.
No. Vegan, you're answering my question, crybaby. Hey, crybaby. You're gonna answer my question. You're gonna answer my question.
How is he the creative mastermind?
Crybaby.
Okay, so he can't make an argument.
You're gonna answer my question.
Every fucking time he makes an argument, he has to backtrack.
You bit off more than you thought you could chew.
He has to backtrack.
You're in trouble now. You didn't think that the person you were talking to actually knew anything, and you're in trouble. You bit off more than you can chew. I mean, you need to answer me now. Is there such a thing as joint authorship? Yes or no?
Yes. And by authorship, you literally mean copyright ownership. Yes, 2 people can own a work at the same time.
By virtue of their joint authorship, correct?
Okay, so now
yes or no? Is there
now
yes
you
or
have
no?
to make an
yes
argument
or no?
that
yes
Hasan
or
has
no?
authorship.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Can you get copyright
Yes or
protection
no,
by
what?
virtue of your joint authorship in a work? Can you be vested with an equal copyright protection as anyone else?
Yes, you can. Now you just have to
Okay.
make the argument for why Hasan would have joint authorship.
So the position from me and Dan's perspective is that Hasan could make a colorable argument, not to say a successful one, but a colorable one based on the content of the stream, his creativity on the stream. If there's no contract for which we can establish the relative roles, then it's going to go to a court, and the court's going to have to determine as a matter of law, or send it to a jury if it's not fit for judicial review.
No.
What do you mean no?
So that makes no sense, because with authorship, you defined it as having some sort of creative input in the actual work. Hasan
creative
didn't necessarily
mastermind.
have any. Yeah, right. Well, creative input, creative mastermindery, like actually being involved in the creation of the work. Hasan didn't have anything to do with that. He was just giving his political opinions and arguing. He didn't have any fucking actual input into the actual fucking stream.
Okay, that's an argument.
He was just a guy who came on the stream to argue.
Okay, that's
an
an argument.
Any kind of creative input.
If you would have calmed down, right? If you would have calmed down, I would have told you, on balance, I probably think in that particular instance, as the facts that you laid out, I probably think on balance, if I were a court, I would rule against Hasan. I even think that it's not necessarily the strongest argument on Hasan's part. All I was saying is that Dan is absolutely correct that so much of the authorship questions are muddied when you have joint broadcasting and
there
two
wasn't
people
joint
who don't.
Broadcasting.
Okay,
There wasn't joint broadcasting.
I didn't watch the
Trying to
stream,
inject
bro.
extra
But
context.
I didn't come here to counteract you specifically. I heard Dan say something about copyright being unclear in the streaming space, and I know because I've been looking at all the shit that's going on with people, accidentally streaming, co-streaming,
That's fucking
copyright
great.
stuff.
Yeah,
and so I was just coming in here to give him some praxis
That's
and some
nice,
solid
thank you.
support,
Uh-huh,
and to
that's
say that he's
great.
absolutely
that's
correct.
great. You're
wait,
wonderful.
wait, hang on a second. And it's evident everywhere. It's
Why
evident
is he
in-
blabbing? Why is
evident-
you just like the sound of your own voice? I don't
it's
fucking
evident-
care. I don't
evident
fucking
in-
care why you came in
evident
here.
and fair- it's
I don't
evident
give
in-
a fuck why you came in here.
Evident and fair use too. So Ethan and Ela Klein, I don't know if you remember that whole thing with Bold Guy. That was one of the first cases of that went to a
that's
decision
because it was
on the
considered
merits.
transformative. Why the fuck? What does
Okay,
this
but
have to do
even
with anything?
so even that, right? Even fair use is a ground that has been walked over a lot. But we're still getting Supreme Court precedent on APIs, whether that's copyrightable. We're still getting district court precedent on React streams. That was one of the first ones. There's not a lot of precedent because most of these things don't go to trial. And so when Dan says you don't have a lot of case law on this kind of stuff, he's absolutely correct. And anyone who says he's not, and that they're sure about what's going to happen,
When you're
they just
talking
don't
about
know
somebody
they just
who's
don't know the
only
law, and they're
person
just an idiot.
recording, No, there's plenty of there's already plenty of legal precedent over this.
Okay, you don't know anything because you don't
Yeah,
even
I
know anything
do.
about copyright. What do you
Yeah, I
know?
do.
What
Yeah, I do.
name one copyright case
again,
that
the
you
logical
read?
extension of this: if somebody made a unique dress and somebody photographed it while you're out in public, they have some sort of creative input. So
Oh my
therefore,
God,
they
you're
own that's the
Bro,
logical extension of the
wait, it's so
stupid shit
sad that
you're
you.
saying.
It's so
This
sad that
isn't
it's
a fucking
so sad.
realistic argument that you could
It's
use
so
in court.
sad that you just said that.
acting as if this could be used
Wait.
as a fucking defense.
Wait,
It
it's
is
so
just stupid.
It's so sad that you just said that taking a picture of a dress, that you think it's absurd that you could possibly have copyright protection over that picture. You absolutely would have copyright protection over that picture.
No,
the
you
copyright. Wait, you absolutely would
If
over the
you
picture.
go out in a public area, no, you have no
the
copyright
picture,
protection.
the picture, you taking a picture, right? Taking the angle,
It's your
picking
photo.
the lighting. Yeah, okay, so you could take a picture of a dress and you would have copyright protection over the elements related to your picture. You would. And so these are more complicated questions than you think.
I'm fucking done, dude. This
Yeah, I know
guy's a
you are.
fucking Idiot.
Go
You're an
cry.
idiot.
Go cry. No one wants to hear anymore.
Yeah, great. Okay, my feelings are hurt. Wonderful. Can we fucking move on?
I thought you were gonna leave.
No, I wanted to
That's so
talk
too.
about Destiny, about his deadlift form.
Well, tough fucking shit, mate. This is the copyright conversation. You fucking butted in when we were having it, bro. You're gonna have to fucking wait. Set your place in line in the pecking order, and it's well below. We're still on the copyright issue. Want to have real conversation about it, not fucking this soy sauce shit that's going
Real
on right now.
conversation about it. Yeah, that's what you'd call this.
Not
Why don't you
this.
tell us
no.
why
Not
you
what you're
joined the
having.
stream again?
No, not what you're having us. No. So, wait, what'd you say? When am I gonna stream again?
No, tell us about the story about why you joined the stream.
to talk
Me?
about copyright.
Or why don't you talk about like Star Wars again? I like that.
What?
I can't believe this. Vegan Gains, you
Give me the Star Wars story again.
I am just disappointed. You were supposed to be like this
Why
legendary
you afraid of
debater.
getting Copyrighted?
No, you were supposed to be this legendary debater that was going to be able to like
neither of
bring
you
balance
even
to
gave
the
a
force.
argument. Neither
But
of you
now
could
that I
even
see
give
it
a
in
fucking
person-
argument for why Hasan would have
And-
a legal case for copyright ownership.
Dude, he would.
Dude, are
He
you-
had
And then
a
at the very
tolerable
end, you
case.
admitted a fucking
Are you
jury
fucking
or
8
judge
IQ?
would side
You have
in
like the
favor of
IQ of a
fucking
plant, like a cactus or something. That's your IQ. I don't know how to put this. I don't even. Why am I trying? Why am I trying to get through to you? You may be.
Can you
This is
spell
impressive.
IQ?
You may be the dumbest person I've ever met, which is weird because you don't seem dumb. You're having this conversation. I'm talking to you, but it's like you have this special sauce of dumbness that I've never seen before. It's actually throwing me completely
Dumbness
off of
isn't a
fucking
word.
kilter. This is what I'm talking about. This is like this is what it is. The outsiders, they're looking in and they're seeing the vegetable IQ and they're not getting it. I'm getting it. I'm in awe, but also disappointed at the same time. That is your legacy. This just flowing disappointment while also, I don't know, crying about it. Yeah, weird.
Oh, can I copyright that under a license?
Jesus.
Are you?
I own your
depends.
stream now, Destiny. I did this for creative reasons.
You. I don't know how to put it. You're so incapable of saying
I'm the
you
master.
might not know.
No, you just
pipe
don't
the
realize,
f- down when
you
someone's
realize that
talking?
I'm the creative mastermind of this.
Oh no! Listen. Oh my God. Okay. The key
They're
is
getting
to
fucking
know.
triggered. You see how triggered they're getting?
The key is to know.
Tell me
that you don't
how
know.
hard I'm crying again.
The key is to know that you don't know. To know that you can't know with certainty anything that's happening. But you're like kind of full force, full-throated, retarded, running into like, no, it's set, it's done. And you have lawyers coming in here that deal copyright shit saying, no, it's definitely
You're a
not
lawyer?
settled.
I'm a lawyer.
Pisco's a lawyer, yes.
Are you a copyright lawyer?
No, I'm not a fucking copyright
Yeah,
lawyer.
then fuck you.
Wait, but just because I'm not a copyright lawyer doesn't mean
This is like
I don't
saying-
know about
this is
more
like
copyright
a doctor
than you.
coming in and talking about fucking dentistry.
You're a photographer for 5 years, and that's your credentials. All
Yeah, I
err
don't
on the side of the
understand.
attorney.
Yeah, I have practical fucking experience with this shit.
You
And
are.
then here's a
Not
fucking
legal
guy claiming
experience.
he's a lawyer when he's never even dealt with fucking cases like this.
What?
True.
No, not true. No. I see. You know the thing is Steve like makes money off of this, so he's the real winner in here. But I feel like I've lost like definitely like.
Well, I don't know if I
probably
can make money off this, Dan, because apparently all of you guys could DMCA me for your
Well,
performances.
no, I'm the creative mastermind.
Or maybe Vegan
I've
Gains
been
could sue me.
masterminding you all to act like this, so I'm the creative genius.
Listen, I think on balance, based on everything that Vegan has said about the facts, I think that Aiden probably has the better argument. I'm
Wait,
not gonna
okay,
deny
here,
that.
hold on. Can I have a 2-second serious comment with you, Pisco?
Yeah. Yeah, what's up?
This was my original take, okay? Hasan was on Aiden's stream. Aiden was the one that was streaming the whole time, okay?
Yeah.
Aiden brought him into the call. It was his Discord call. He broadcast the group.
He decided to invite him in the first place.
And then Hasan, I don't even know if that would matter, but Hasan uploads his stream, basically, the segment that he's on. He uploads that onto his channel, and then Aiden DMCAs him for it. Now,
while he's streaming the thing too?
No,
His
no.
portion of it?
Hassan's not even streaming his portion of it.
Oh,
Aiden
okay.
is, and that's what Hasan, or at least Hasan didn't stream the whole Discord, right? So then Aiden takes, so Aiden DMCAs him. Now, I think it's undeniable that Aiden has a right to DMCA him. It's clearly it is his content. Now, if Hasan wants to fight and say, well, hold on, I can argue that my performance was an integral part of this or something like that, and he wants to go ahead and present that affirmative defense, he can do that. But I would say that without, like, we can say that, quote unquote, it's untested. We can think of a lot of things that are untested. But I think based on my understanding of copyright and historically how things have played out, I've never heard of a case like Hasan's before that would favor Hasan. And it seems like, on balance of facts, it would probably favor Aiden. That's what I'm saying. So for Hasan to come out, so like, if I were to do something like this, somebody sued me for it, or somebody DMC'd me for it, I'd be like, all right, we're going to fight. But I would never be like, I can't believe you DMCA'd me. Well, of course you DMCA'd. I ripped your stream straight and I uploaded it to my YouTube channel with your watermark still in the corner, right?
Right. So I think that even just the things of like the camera layout, right, the stream notifications that are coming up, I actually think it matters whether or not you're directing things, you're making the content, you know, you're the person in charge of making the broadcast. I think those are all factors that point heavily in favor of Aiden. I'm just saying that in this, I don't know the facts of the specific stream, as you know. I just came in here to to give Dan some affirmation that, in fact, it is true that there's a lot of murky grounds, and a lot of the areas where there's disputes on copyright, things like fair use and authorship, and even infringement in many cases, those issues are ones where the statute leaves a lot of room for fact finding that and interpretation.
Yeah, I mean, fair use is all about like interpretation, right? There is no hard and fast fair use. Like, there's going to be a lot of fighting around any of the 4, I think, points for.
Like, let me give you an example. Let's say that you and Dan both plan out a podcast, right? What were you guys going to call it? The Over Russell podcast. You guys plan the Over Russell podcast, and you guys Dan puts 60% of the work. Dan puts 70% of the money. You put 40% of the work and 30% of the money, and you're the one who broadcasts it. But it's really both of your creative visions. You're both bringing to life other aspects of, you know, that you're bringing in the streaming world, and him bringing in like the, I don't know, what do you do, landlord-tenant relation world. In that case, I think there's a stronger argument for joint authorship if you guys haven't like had a contract that details who owns what respectively, right? In those cases, just because you're the one broadcasting, well, that's not what, you know, the copyright statute, if it wanted to, could say anyone who broadcasts the work.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying here, right? But to Vegan Gaines' point, if Hasan would have come in, for instance, and did a performance of a musical number that he'd written or a choreographed dance, sure. But him coming in and just speaking on it, I feel like that's kind of a stretch for, well, actually, I have some ownership in the creative direction of this.
Even if he just came in and sang it, right? Even if he just came in and sang or danced or whatever, or talked.
Well, those things, because some of those things are meaningfully different.
No, hang on. But like singing, right, like just talking isn't protected by copyright. Agreed?
Yeah. I don't think so, yeah.
If you sing a song for the first time and you invent it, I'm sorry, bro, that is not copyright. If you wanted to steal someone's copyright who's just like riffing, like you do a lot of improvisation, right?
Yeah, but I'm almost positive. I think your stuff might be protected because
your music would be fixed in like some hard drive in the stream that you're making, right? But just singing out openly typically doesn't give you protection. It's not fixed in a tangible medium of expression. Don't argue with me. If you just sing out loud.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean by not fixed in a tangible medium of expression? Hold on, wait, explain that.
So copyright protection only extends to works that are fixed in a tangible medium of expression. And so and that has been interpreted not to apply to like.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Wait, so here's a question. So could I theoretically go down to a jazz club, New York City, okay? 11:30 at night, I'm listening to people play, and I just sit there and I transcribe their solos, and then I immediately, why not?
No, because there's protections offered by federal law to unfixed performances.
Well, okay, well then what kind of unfixed performances are protected?
So certain kinds of I'm not fucking studied up on the unfixed performances, but there's an exception for those kinds of things that is carved out.
Okay, well that's why I'm asking, because you just said improvisation. I'm pretty sure if I go and I give like an improv, like an improv concert or whatever at some club, I don't think somebody could transcribe all my notes and then go and release that as a song and not have a.
But you don't have copyright protection over it, right? You might have a protection against that kind of surreptitious videoing, but that's not a copyright protection.
What kind of protection am I extended there?
It's whatever the sui generis protection is for against those recordings. So those recordings might be infringement, but if someone heard your song, right? Let's say someone hears Steven perform his improvisation and then goes off and writes it down in a separate little document or a separate little piece of sheet music, that wouldn't be infringement over your work, because assuming that you did not fix it previously, right? And assuming that you didn't write it previously. So the copyright protection extends to fixed works. In the case of Hasan, whether he's saying a political opinion, whether he's dancing, whether he's singing, the key aspect to it that we're examining is who has copyright protection over the stream. That's what's going to be the dispute. And in this specific case, I think the only argument that he could make is either fair use, if it's like a newsworthy thing, I don't know. But that's a weak argument, I think, or probably more likely joint authorship, but I think that's a loser. And if Vegan Gains had just calmed down for a few minutes for me to explain that, I don't think we would have had this huge, like, I don't know, fight. I don't have anything against
I think if he added commentary to the stream and made a new video about it, that probably would have been an adequate protection.
Pisco, I have a question. When it comes to protections for individual pieces of content that might be copyrighted, is there more or less protections afforded to a work depending on the medium that it is? For instance, so how are those protections different? For instance, if I have a painting could Steven put up a stream doing nothing else than showing that painting?
Yeah. So to be clear, yes, there are differences. First of all, I'm not a copyright lawyer. Again, I'm not even necessarily. I've done some IP work, but nothing in the copyright space. So if anyone knows more than me, this is just your regular disclaimer. You should listen to the people who know more. But my understanding is, in fair use arguments, the nature of the work is one of the factors that the statute is telling you to consider. And so let's say that you have, in a scene shot down in downtown New York in a crime movie, you have someone's poster, right? That's copyrightable. It's a fixed work. It's in a poster. And you, as part of your scening, right, you have the entire work is placed into your movie, right? It's not even just part of the work. It's the whole work. The whole picture is in your movie. There have been arguments where in some cases the background art is considered fair use, and sometimes when it's the focus, it's not considered fair use.
All right, so
the nature of the... Go ahead.
Okay, so you're saying it. I think I can understand that. So video has specific protections that are not found with other things. Then, would you say?
Again, I think that's judicially crafted exceptions. So, and there's also statutorily crafted exceptions for music too. There's mandatory licensing schemes under the statute for covers. That's why it's important to get a difference between and so I would agree with you that audiovisual works and music, when they're used in other audiovisual works, they probably have more judicial protection than like a piece of art that you're showing.
All right, so here's my thinking, right? So you have the 4 factors on something, if it's fair use or not, right?
Yeah.
On Destiny's stream every day, he's watching copyrighted work probably in its entirety. Now, he's not watching Star Wars, granted, but he's watching YouTube videos in its entirety. He's watching commercials in their entirety without permission of that copyright author to do it. Now, he's going to be successful because the people that are coming to his stream, the reason that they're coming there is not to watch that content. Versus if he turned on a stream and he called it Star Wars stream and he was streaming Star Wars, he would fail on the purpose and character of his work, and the purpose and character of his work would be to steal the content at that point. However, there's 3 other points on it there that he still fails of, meaning the only difference would be that front. So what I'm saying is the murkiness of it is that when you stream and he watches a YouTube video or does pretty much anything, that there is murkiness on who now owns this piece of content. Just because he's watching a commercial or a 1-minute YouTube video and not the entirety of Star Wars does not change the fact that he is now rebroadcasted in its entirety a copyrighted audiovisual work without the express consent of the author. And and that's the murkiness of this, is meaning that you have now done that.
I think it's even more murky because the factor you considered, the first one, purpose and character, that's the so-called transformative factor. That number 1 and number 4, the potential market and the purpose and character, are considered to be like the most important factors to consider, as opposed to the nature and the amount and substantiality, which are like downplayed. As you've seen, you can use a whole picture in amount and substantiality and it could still be fair use. You could use a whole article even, right? And I'm sure many of you would argue that providing commentary on an entire article from New York Times, which is like, you might say is highly transformative, but you're putting the whole article, that might be protected by fair use. But the first and the fourth factors are considered like the most important. And so if he is not making active commentary, it's even more murky, right? So I think that there.
Well, I mean, there's a reason we don't have YouTube channels of watching Star Wars in its entirety, where I just stop every few seconds and give commentary.
That's just analogous, dude.
Yeah. Well, like
okay. It's just a bad analogy to the Adin Ross thing.
It's not about the Adin Ross thing. You
fucking
degenerate fucking retard. Just pipe the fuck down. I'm talking about copyright in general. Fucking Christ! It's like you're coming in here like, no, actually, we record.
Part of like it just
Oh my God!
Using it as a general example, it doesn't make sense because
who said Adin Ross in the last fucking half hour?
If you're gonna make a fucking argument, again, this is written out in the fair use. It has to be transformative in some sort of way, and it also can't significantly take away from the original work. If you were to watch Star Wars in its entirety,
it doesn't need to be
while giving commentary, it's not transformative. And even if it was transformative to some extent, like again, it's taking away quite a bit from the original work, where people who would have otherwise watched the original work might not.
It doesn't need to be
it's just a weird
transformative.
You're not even correct. It doesn't have to be transformative. That's just one of 4 on the
Well,
options.
yeah, I understand that, but
Well, you just said something that made me very clear that you don't understand. I don't even know why you're discussing this. You have no idea what the fuck is going on.
right.
It just doesn't.
And
Tell
when
me
you're-
about how Pico's a lawyer again, or Pisco?
Because I went to law school and I passed the bar in New York State.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Jesus fuck. All right.
Like I know everything about fair use or copyright, but just like if you're gonna interrupt and be an aggressive asshole and be wrong.
Well, am I being aggressive right now, or am I being fucking
I think
calm?
you
Do you want
kind
me
of
to
are
start
by
yelling
like.
again?
I think by implying that Dan.
Here we
like,
fucking go, dude. Like, I don't
about-
fucking care, dude. I'm being calm. I
Dude,
just
we're
wanted
trying to have a
say that.
conversation. We're trying to
Yeah,
have a
and I'm part of the
conversation.
conversation, so go suck my fucking cock.
Oh,
One second, I'm
God.
gonna call.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Well, do you want me to tell you about your
Yeah.
deadlift form and how you can
Tell me.
improve it?
Give me some tips.
All right. Well, I would say there's 2-3 main mistakes you're making.
Go
So, first big mistake with your setup is the bar is too far away from your shins.
Okay.
You seem to, and it's kind of normal. A lot of people want to start off from a really deep position in the deadlift, and they kind of want to make it feel more like a squat. The proper position in a deadlift usually feels kind of weird and uncomfortable, and it is a pull. So put the bar a little closer to your shins. It should be over your midfoot. You should only have about inch, maybe 2 inches at most, away from your shins when you're standing straight up. Then, when you do go down, you haven't performed the Valsalva maneuver before you went down, and you're just sitting in this position about to initiate the pull, where you haven't developed that tenseness in your core. So step closer to the bar, perform the Valsalva maneuver, and it should only take you maybe 2-3 seconds to actually get your hands over the bar, maybe wiggle your feet a bit slightly, and then pull. You don't want to just be in this low position, squatted down, waiting for, 20-30 seconds before you actually start pulling. You'll feel like you have a lot more power out of the bottom if you actually perform the Valsalva maneuver before you bend over to, touch the bar, initiate the pull. Okay. And third, it looks like your stance is pretty wide. Your feet should be very close together, very, very close. So your legs should basically just be pointing straight down. They shouldn't be angled at all. So have your feet very close together. And then you also want to make sure you depress your shoulders as much as you can. So in order to make sure you depress your shoulders as much as you can, actually push down into the bar, and then that's when you initiate the pull. That'll give you some extra leverage where you can just be a little more upright before you start pulling. Pete Rubish probably has the best deadlift tutorial video that I think you should watch, and I think you can improve your deadlift quite a bit if you just make those changes.
Gotcha. I'll keep it in mind.
All right. Oof. And if you want any more tips on training, I'd be happy to help. I've seen a few streams where you invite on idiots, but I did want to go over some more programming and periodization stuff with you. Okay. But, it's up to you.
Gotcha. Probably I'll try this thing for a month, and then if I need to change up, I'll let you know, okay?
Okay, sure. Take care, man.
Have fun.
Later, man. No. Oh. Hard feelings.
No, hard feelings.
What's up with that guy?
No, I want the hard feelings.
I wouldn't even come in here to argue. I didn't hear the case. I thought Dan made a good point.
Oh man.
It's literally Dunning-Kruger in the fucking flesh. The less you know, the more you think that you fucking know, or whatever. How the fuck it works.
Jesus
oh Christ!
That was just a brutal execution of the both of you. If I'm going to be completely honest.
Oh yeah.